Imagine an old VHS tape. It's a familiar one, but something's off. It's not exactly real. Analog horror is an upcoming genre that's manifesting in the indie filmmaking community. It's one of the most fascinating cases of a new genre that I've seen on YouTube. Quick warning, some of the things we will be taking a look at in this video are pretty gruesome. These tapes deal with some pretty heavy stuff. If you're uncomfortable with all that kind of stuff, feel free to tune out at any point. I'll give another warning when that stuff comes up. With that out of the way, let's begin. As I've mentioned before, analog horror is a new genre that's making headlines on YouTube. It typically deals with old VHS tapes and other forms of outdated media, and it uses them to tell unique stories. And that's what I'm getting at, unique. The way these stories are told is completely unique to the format they're told through. The genre seems to have its root in found footage films like Blair Witch Project. However, it's much more appropriate to think of it as fear of the medium, like how Texas Chainsaw Massacre is enhanced by its outdatedness. These analog horror series can take many forms. Maybe some old home video, PSAs, or maybe even an old news broadcast. The only logical step we can start at is Local 58. It is the textbook definition of analog horror. Probably because it defined the term. Most of the defining features of the genre can be found here. The grainy footage and the general sense of realism that is so unique to this type of media. I would be doing it a service to these series if I just explained the plot to you all, as all of them are free to watch right here on YouTube. I'll give you the rundown. A local news station by the name of Local 58 is presenting a strange broadcast dealing with some odd subject matter. Like a show for children showing some very nice images such as this, or this, or how about Real Sleep, a video that literally tries to make you forget how facial recognition works. Chris Straub, I'm sorry if I mispronounced your name, was one of the first to try and create one of these narratives. It's a little too scatterbrained for my taste, but I highly respect it as one of the founding fathers of the genre. And for some odd reason, his series isn't the only one to deal with an intergalactic threat. Gemini Home Entertainment presents a world that's way beyond saving. It's hard to describe the otherworldly, raw feeling this series makes you feel. You really have to watch it for yourself. The things Gemini Home Entertainment does are very intriguing. Unlike Local 58, which feels like it can be viewed in any order, Gemini Home Entertainment feels a lot more, how do I say this, established. There are established things in the world. There are constant callbacks to earlier episodes to further the story. Tiniest details could lead to very interesting revelations later on, as is the case with something like the Storm Alarm, originally debuting one of the first episodes and making a comeback in one of the show's best. These series are definitely not something you want to put on in the background just when you play a video game. And speaking of video games, this person created an entire game just for one episode, and it's a game you can actually play right now on itch.io. That is insane! Granted, it's a pretty bare bones game, but you have to admire the effort that goes into the production of these things. It's a passion-fueled project, and you can definitely feel it. Oh geez, I just realized I didn't even touch on the story of this series, huh? Well, the tapes show a series of PSAs, educational videos about things happening on Earth, is the best way I can describe it. But something obviously ain't right. Just watch the episode Our Solar System and you'll get what I'm talking about. It's creepy, it's fleshy, it's otherworldly. So obviously the next logical evolution of the genre is Five Nights at Freddy's! So yes, I did not expect this either, but the popular game series Five Nights at Freddy's seems to be one of the main causes of people getting into this genre. The iconic animatronic horror series seems like the perfect setting for this kind of series. The training videos, old recordings of animatronic features being tested. The creator of the main series is Squimpus McGwimpus, and the way she tells the story is so masterful. She's able to condense this incredibly complex story to a digestible piece of media that can be enjoyed by anyone. You don't have to have played the Five Nights at Freddy's games to understand FNAF VHS. The reason for this is, it separates itself from the main series while having unique elements, while still having some things to pick up for fans of the source material. The reason me and many others found the series so endearing is because it tells a much more personal story than something like Local 58 or Gemini. A story of murder, regret, and family. It's a great time. Highly recommend it. And I think everyone should give it a watch. And while you're at it, check out Squimp's other work. I'm sure she'll appreciate it. She doesn't love being known as the FNAF VHS person. I want to touch more on the actual horror aspect of the series. These do an excellent job of portraying horrific moments that are absolutely enhanced by the medium. Let's take, I made a slow-hanging fruit. What the hell. In the video facial recognition testing, we see a man test Bonnie's, the animatronic, facial recognition system. The system is supposed to detect when a criminal has entered the building. At the end of the video, Bonnie jumps the man, and his facial recognitions go awry. After Bonnie leaves the screen, we're greeted with, "Oh, hi, friend." Well, after the man has his fit and knocks out the camera, we are showed this.
Criminal.
Yeah. No jump scare. You gotta admit that would be a lot less effective. Drawing the scene out to make the viewer build tension. There are not very many jump scares in the series as a whole, and that's for the better. And now let's talk about a series that does have jump scares, but do them really well. Okay, so this part might get a little bit more gushy. Oh my god, I love the Walton Files. Please go watch it. Okay, with that out of the way, Walten Files is another FNAF VHS series. However, unlike Squimpus' take in the series, Walten Files is a completely original story with completely original characters. It is once again a story about a broken family. However, what sets it apart is its striking art style, making it seem like an old cartoon, and on the third episode, an arcade game. Speaking of that third episode, Martin Walls, the creator of the series, has publicly said that the production of the video has been really rough. And it still comes out as good as it is. I mean, seriously! If you only watch one thing from this video, please make it the Walton Files. It's a great, horrifying time. Something important to mention about analog horror is sound design. Sounds will glitch out and distort, and when they do, that's usually a sign that you need to pay attention.
Cleaning protocols.
Robot maintenance and repair.
When you watch these series, you better be paying attention, because details that are crucial to the story could pass by at a glance. And that's completely by design. You want to engage the viewer, and by having them literally participate, that's just a match made in heaven. So analog horror. It's such a unique concept, and I'm fully in love with it. And the four series we talked about today are just the tip of the iceberg. If I were to suggest any more, I'd say look into Battington's Harmony in Horror, Omega Mart, and Fazbear Toddler Fun. Oh, and Greenio's Mario 64 VHS horror series. Yes, you heard that correctly. This genre is so interesting because you can take the most friendly and appealing things and twist them without changing all too much. You just have to present them in a realistic way, but have something that seems not so right. So the conclusion, watch analog horror, study it, you have no clue where it might go next, and I'm All for it.